This week's video is brought to you by the generosity of Battalion Commander Matthew Nicholson and Scout Trooper Captain Noah Dingley. The Empire thanks you for your support and loyal service, my friends. This is Vader Reviews. We are honored that you would join us. Last weekend, I reviewed the first chapter of Descendants of Order 66, a fan series by the channel PoodooFX Team that has been 15 years in the making. And now, my viewers, we will discuss the second chapter of this ambitious fan series, interestingly titled Shadows of the Empire. And right away, this brings us to one of the many things I love about this series so far, how even the episode titles themselves are Easter eggs referencing old LucasArts games. Shadows of the Empire being my personal favorite classic Star Wars game, second only to the original Battlefront series. Our story begins in the burning sands of Tatooine, as our young hero Galv practices with his father's lightsaber. The image of a young Jedi practicing lightsaber forms in silhouette in front of the twin suns of Tatooine is so iconic, I'm honestly surprised we've never seen it before in any of the Star Wars films. He even completes his training with his saber held aloft like Luke Skywalker from the classic Star Wars posters. I experienced such a wave of nostalgia watching this sequence, and I feel that George Lucas would love this scene, because it encapsulates the tone and heart of classic Star Wars perfectly. Meanwhile, on a derelict Republic cruiser, it turns out our young hero isn't the only one training, as a dark and mysterious warrior fights off not only battle droids, but droidicas as well. And I gotta say, it brought back a lot of fond memories from the Clone Wars. Turns out Donnie Darko here is another secret apprentice of mine, who gains power from an ancient Sith relic. And though it is never clearly stated in the episode itself, it appears to be the mask of Darth Nihilus himself, one of the most powerful Sith Lords in the old expanded universe. Back on Tatooine, the dynamic duo head to the most wretched hive of scum and villainy, Jabba's palace, in order to learn who sold them out to the Empire. And once again, the creatures and costume work in this scene exceeded my expectations. I don't want to give away all of the creatures and characters you'll see during this sequence, but not only do we get Greedo in a Gamorrean garb leading a Bothan prisoner through the halls, we have a Jawa tinkering with some chemical vat containing a xenomorph facehugger from Alien, as a nice little cross-franchise Easter egg. In the throne room, we not only get to see the mighty Jabba himself, but all the usual suspects when it comes to Star Wars aliens, including a couple I didn't expect. For one, this weird elephant-looking guy straight out of Return of the Jedi, and a perfect Salacious Crumb puppet. Turns out our heroes were sold down the river by a lousy blue Twi'lek named Bib Durka, but it looks like Bib is all out of Twee luck, because Boba Fett is looking for him as well. And we're not talking take a nap in a Bacta-tank Boba. We're talking old expanded universe ruthless bounty hunter Boba Fett. And he was totally wizard. Galv and Bib hop on a speeder built for two and book it into the Junlan Wastes as former clone trooper Tioman flies in to save them in his speedy spaceship. And I just want to take a moment to say how wizard the ship design is. It's one part Rebel Blockade Runner and one part Millennium Falcon, which is ironic considering the Blockade Runner was the original design of the Millennium Falcon. They even built a complete control console for the ship, and it looks absolutely incredible. We are treated to a beautiful establishing shot of Nar Shada, a dangerous crime-ridden world from the expanded universe of Star Wars. But even here, there is no escaping the might of the Galactic Empire, as a full battalion of stormtroopers open fire on this scum, and... wait a minute. Isn't that Officer Mutton Chops from the first chapter? I don't know, maybe it's just a distant relative with similar taste in facial hair. The important thing is, as our brave and noble Imperial forces deal with the scum, the Bounty Hunters Guild captures former clone trooper Tioman. And seeing Bossk, Zukkas, Forlam, and Dengar fight over who gets the bounty reminded me of the classic Dark Horse comic adaptation of Shadows of the Empire, where they all fight over who gets to deliver Captain Solo to Jabba the Hutt. And I really enjoyed this little homage to one of my favorite classic EU storylines. Honestly, the only thing that could have made it better would have been if Dash Rendar had showed up to help Galv and his friends escape. But speaking of Galv, In a moment of desperation, he calls on the Force to take out some stormtroopers. Just then, my secret apprentice arrives with some shocking revelations about his father's past. Before my secret apprentice can turn our young hero into a crispy critter, Tioman arrives just in the nick of time and blasts the little sifling off the landing platform. Cal jumps to the ship's boarding ramp Qui-Gon Jinn style. But in a stunning turn of events, Bib is once again out of Twi'lek, and the blue space smurf is captured by the Empire. The chapter ends with Boba Fett getting the best of IG-88 and Bossk, just like in Shadows of the Empire. Meaning, once again, I have to wait until next week to see what happens next. Well played, PoodooFX Team. Well played. In the end, Chapter 2 has even more great characters and creatures than the first episode. And I truly enjoyed the adventure they took us on through the dark underworld of the Star Wars galaxy. From Jabba's palace to the mean streets of Nar Shada, this chapter felt like it was pulled straight from the pages of classic Dark Horse Star Wars comics, and I absolutely loved it. Seeing the bounty hunters in action was obviously a highlight for me personally, but I also enjoyed the several Easter eggs spread throughout the episode as well, including a hologram of the blue opera singer from the Fifth Element on Nar Shada. My favorite image from the entire episode, however, was the young Jedi practicing in front of the twin suns on Tatooine. It doesn't get much better than that in terms of iconic Star Wars imagery. So we may dispense with the suspense and I'll get right to the point. I give this episode 5 out of 5 Death Stars. Star Wars Descendants of Order 66, Chapter 2 is impressive. Most impressive. This has been Vader Reviews. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. And follow me on Twitter, @Vader Reviews. Join the Empire today. You do not yet realize your importance. Share these videos, and together we will rule the internet. And always remember, you don't know the power of the dark side.